Talking timepieces with Tony. Talking timepieces with Tony.
Okay, so Rolex, especially older models, are notorious for having what's called Jubilee stretch. What's Jubilee stretch? That is when the bracelet stretches and it flops down like that. You see that? That's Jubilee stretch. Okay. This watch is almost 30 years old. So this watch, it's not too bad, the stretch. I've seen watches that I mean, it's freaking terrible. You know what I mean? Let's look at a newer one. Obviously, this is my GMT Master. So there's not going to be any stretch in it. It's just, you know, there it is. It's no stretch. Yeah. And there's a few reasons why Jubilee stretch happens. And one of it is that you either wear the watch way too loose or way too tight. So you have to find that sort of what's going to fit on your wrist and, you know, just get a good fit. You know, if you want to wear it loose, by all means, go ahead and wear it loose. And if you want to wear it way too tight, by all means, go ahead and do whatever you want to do. But the thing is there's also a misconception on, especially with the older watches, how why the bracelet stretches like it does. And a lot of people think it's because the watch has hollow center links. All right. You can't see that. It's just really fine. You can see through those center links. It's like a little, you know, so you can see through it. And people think that because of that, those center links stretch. And that's not the case. In the case of the newer ones, you don't have hollow center links. You know, they're solid. Can stretch still happen? Yeah, it's pretty rare in the newer ones though. So people who have newer ones, don't worry about it as much, but I'm going to tell you how to take care of it. Okay, so also people think that if you have, say, a two-tone 18 karat gold, you're going to have more of a problem with it stretching. Not necessarily. If you have an older one, that will be a contributing factor, but if you have a newer one, no. It's not the center links that stretch, okay? It's the pins, okay? You've got in the Jubilee bracelet, you have, you know, you've got a lot of movement. You've got a lot of pieces there, right? So what happens is the pins that hold this bracelet together are what stretch, which then in turn causes the bracelet to stretch, right? When that stretches, does that cause the center links to stretch? It could, but most likely no. But if you were wearing, say, a solid gold presidential bracelet on a day date, for instance, then that would be a contributing factor because 18 karat white gold is very soft, so it's more, you know, it's more it's less resistant, you know, so it will stretch. How do you prevent that? Well, it's pretty simple in a sense. What you need to do, because again, it's not the center links that cause that to stretch, the pins. And that is generally caused by dirt, dust, all the kinds of little things that get inside those pins and cause basically like corrosion. It wears it down and it wears it down, and then it makes it more, I guess, flexible if you want. And that's really what causes the stretch. Once you got that stretch, then it can come into play where the center links start to stretch. The steel is pretty resilient, pretty tough, so it's not going to stretch as much as, say, for instance, an 18 karat gold or a two-tone, you know what I mean, the center links being solid gold. And the best way to prevent that is maintenance on your bracelet. And the simple solution to that is keeping it clean. So you can make sure your watch crown is screwed down, and you're going to get, you know, warm water and a very soft toothbrush and some soap, you know, like dish soap is fine. And you're going to rinse the watch off, and you're going to just take that brush and just get in there and brush it, clean it. It needs to be cleaned. And that's the sole, you know, that's the thing. It's kind of like with an automobile with the engine oil. You've got to, that's why you have to change your oil. The most important thing you can do for the maintenance and life of your vehicle is changing the oil, right? So with the Jubilee bracelet, you have to keep it clean, and that's the way to do it. You basically get you know, some warm water, toothbrush, soft toothbrush, and just clean it. When you put the watch down, one of two things: put it in a case, something that holds it. You know, like for instance, I'll just show you. I have mine on the watch stand right now. And that's really what it is. When it comes to the newer Jubilee bracelets, you're gonna have, you're just not gonna have that much of a problem with it, but it's still best to keep it clean, because that dust and those particles can still get in there and, you know, screw everything up. So just a quick video on how to keep your Jubilee bracelet. Now, at the same time, can you fix the Jubilee stretch? Yes, you can, but the Rolex AD will not fix your Rolex bracelet. If it's bad enough, they'll replace it, but then you have to pay for that. You're looking at what, I don't know, $1,500, maybe a couple $1,000. I don't know what a new Jubilee bracelet costs, you know. And you want to keep it original too. Do you want to put a solid, you know, Centerlink Jubilee on your vintage Rolex? You could. Wouldn't matter if you're keeping the watch, but what you can do is there are companies out there that do fix the Jubilee stretch, and they call it tightening. You're not tightening anything. What they're doing is they're actually taking the entire bracelet apart and they're adding new pins to it. And once they do that and put it all back together, you got pretty much a brand new bracelet. It's probably going to cost you $400 or $500, I think. I'm not sure. So essentially, you can have your bracelet in new condition. You just got to find the right person that's going to do that job to fix it. In the modern bracelets, obviously Rolex are using, you know, more updated modern technology, so this won't happen with the Jubilee bracelets. That's another aspect of what they're doing. So having said that, that's all I got for this one. And if you have a Jubilee bracelet, just take care of it if you don't want that stretch to kick in, especially if you have an older one, an older Rolex. So there you have it. All right, peace.